An anonymous user uploads a post to the music board of the infamous website 4chan.
I picked this up because it looked interesting. I wasn't able to find any references to it online whatsoever. Even with super obscure bands, you might expect to find some old MySpace page or mention in some forum. Does anybody recognize the album?
Just a few hours, there are hundreds of replies, most of which wanting the same thing. They all want to hear the CD. So the original poster uploads the 4 songs, and this is what they hear. The consensus is split. There's both a positive and negative reaction to hearing the EP. However, what all the commenters had in common was a doubt as to whether the static effect was on purpose or not. As it turns out, the CD is so old that it started to rot, and that affected the sound. Some commenters even expressed doubt as to whether the original poster was even being honest about where he found it, possibly using the story as a way to promote their own album. After this sudden explosion of popularity on the forum, the original poster disappeared, and the thread slowly became inactive and eventually expired. Although the original thread had died, the album still lived on via various file-sharing websites. Despite a pretty considerable interest in the album, there was still no information regarding the band other than the 4 names on the back of the CD: Owen, Andy, Sean, and John. These names and the fact that it was found in an Oxfam somewhere in the UK was all the information available to those surrounding the album. At this point, 2 groups began to emerge. The first being a major cult following of the band who all desperately searched for any information of them. The second being a growing minority of those who had given up and accepted that it was a hoax used as a marketing ploy. It was deemed lost media by many and fell into obscurity for years. A YouTube channel that focuses on cataloguing obscure music uploaded the EP, which amassed over 100,000 views. Being spurred on by those who still declared it a hoax, they kept trying. And after going back to the original images published of the CD, certain people took notice of a blurry barcode sticker. A gift aid number, not an ID for the item, but for the person who gave it. A participant in the search seemed to remember having seen the CD in an Oxfam in Southampton, so a Facebook message was sent asking if there was any record of the CD being in their stock. Unfortunately, due to the UK's privacy laws, that information could not be disclosed, and the answer was, once again, not here. However, the manager of the Southampton Oxfam gave a vital bit of information. The last 4 digits of the barcode number was the shop code, and it didn't match the Southampton Oxfam's code. This ruled out that specific shop, but also made it possible to find the real Oxfam they had been searching for all this time. Sherwood, Nottingham. The search went from a location of 67 million people to just the 15,000 people that lived in the district of Sherwood. On the forums the very next day, someone posted a link to a Facebook profile belonging to a musician based in Sherwood named Owen. The only thing left to do was message him. From then on, things moved at breakneck speed. Owen contacted Andy, who then contacted Sean. They have since released another album and have been touring around the US and UK at sold-out shows. What started as 4 teenage friends recording an album and getting rejected by every record label in 2000 eventually turned out to be a band with a massive cult following over 20 years later. Although it all started with some luck, it was those first 4 songs that propelled the band into some level of fame. It just goes to show that as long as the product is good, there will be people who appreciate and love it.
Panchiko.